Rich Lowry. Rich, I could sit here for an hour and go through all the ways and reasons that Hamas killed innocent women, children, and families on October the 7th. But just this year, it was Joe Biden repeatedly telling Israel to take the win. Israel was stronger and demolished terrorism in the region because Benjamin Netanyahu ignored every word out of that old man's mouth. And even Kamala Harris warned it would be a mistake for Israel to invade Rafah.
Yeah, because she studied the map, remember? She looked at the map so closely. Look, I hadn't been in favor of these peace deals as they were proposed going along the way, but now Israel has done so much to decimate Hamas, Hezbollah, and these other bastards all around the Middle East. That's a different context. And as soon as Trump said hell to pay, what did he say at a press conference the first time? You just knew, or it was a Truth Social post, I think. There's very likely going to be a deal done before he becomes president. Here we are, days out. It's happened. It's reminiscent of Reagan and the Iranian hostages in 1980.
See, here's where I'm more concerned about this. Whether the deal holds or not, this stretched out deal that Biden has been flubbing and screwing up in the administration and Blinken for all year long suddenly comes to fruition, but it plays out in the Trump administration. And decimating Hamas is one thing, but the history is when they have peace or détente, they rearm and come back in some form.
No doubt. There's a huge downside to this. But look, Israeli society values its people. It values even dead bodies. It's made deals to get dead bodies back. So and the pressure was extreme within Israeli society to get this done. So eventually they're going to have to get a version of this. Is this a final deal? Is peace breaking out in Gaza for the foreseeable future? No. They'll be backsliding on this, and you'll have to work it. But we have a president of the United States, finally, that people around the world not just are going to respect, but are going to fear. And that makes things possible that weren't under this weak incumbent who's shuffling out the door.
And to David's point, Hamas has been regrouping. Yahya Sinwar's brother in charge of Hamas now. But under President Trump, the picture is different in this way. And this started under Biden, day one of this gross desire to get Iran to rejoin the nuclear agreement. And they kowtowed and tried to appease Iran in every imaginable way. And the major way was allowing them, just ignoring any kind of sanctions and allowing Iran to export oil mainly to China, but Iran pocketed at least $100 billion in oil exports, and that gave Iran money to arm terrorists that then attacked Israel and even U.S. service members.
Yeah, it's a little bit reminiscent of the border, right? You had a border situation that worked at the end of the Trump administration. You had Iran, maybe it's an exaggeration to say this, but pretty close to the brink of economic collapse. And Biden reverses both, and the consequences have predictably been disastrous. And by the way, just one other thing on the hell to pay statement from Trump. That was the first time a high-ranking American, he wasn't high-ranking yet, but he was about to be high-ranking, spoke with a voice of righteous indignation about this horrific ongoing war crime being perpetrated against Americans, not just Israelis, against Americans. And it took Trump to speak in that kind of voice.
We're dealing in a society that sees strength and respects strength, even in disagreement. You have to look at the culture that they're up against, that we're up against. Trump really is that high-ranking figure, whether he had been elected or not, who made it clear where the position was. And the fact is they believed him because Biden didn't respond effectively when they were firing missiles at our ships. They didn't respond when they took their little dinghies out to try and attack commercial shipping. They didn't do anything about this.
Yeah.
Biden failed the test every single time, and companies paid the price literally, and people paid the price in some cases with their lives.
Yeah, so this is how having deterrent power, this is the magic of it. Because what did he do? Did he send an aircraft carrier there, Trump? Well, he's not president yet. A Truth Social post repeated a couple times, and as Trump said about Putin and Xi with the first term, maybe they didn't believe him 100%, but if they believed him 80%, 50%, why do you take the risk? And so things happen without having to wage major wars.
And Biden had a terrible relationship with Saudi Arabia, or Saudi Arabia was roundly disgusted with Joe Biden. Very good relationship. Trump has with Saudi Arabia. So again, they should be afraid of President Trump coming in. But moving on to this, because speaking of friends, all of a sudden big business loves President Donald Trump again. It is the biggest flip-flop since Joe Biden abandoned Israel. OpenAI's Sam Altman, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, just two of the major business leaders cozying up to 47, Zuck reversing 10 years of failed censorship and deciding the inauguration is more appealing than freezing his ass off with the former masters of the universe in Davos, those elitist suck bags.
So tell us how you really feel. But hey, follow the money. Everyone from Meta to Uber, even Bezos' Amazon, donating $1 million to Trump. He's raised a massive amount of money. This love wasn't always there. Companies like, well, I don't know, is it woke Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola, were once the poster child for caving to progressive activists, even earning that name, woke-a-cola. Yet now their CEO has gifted the president-elect the first ever presidential inaugural Coke bottle. He has that button in the resident desk.
Did you not say diet? It's
Wow.
Diet Coke.
I can't do the diet. All right, I'm just kidding.
Him and Musk love Diet Coke.
I'm
but
so with
anyway,
you. Regular Coke is so much superior to Diet Coke.
But Trump has
tastes
the
better.
button that he had in the desk
Yeah.
in the first term. He pushed the button, they'd bring him a Diet Coke.
Might be one of his most prized possessions now. This bottle. But look, when you're losing, the opportunists are against you. When you're winning, the opportunists are with you. So they're opportunists. That's not great. But what's the better alternative? And we have seen just a total different reaction to President Trump than we saw in 2017. Everyone's against him. There are riots in the streets. There's crazy investigations undergoing. That's not happening now. It's the opposite happening, and that puts some wind in his sails.
Just before we go, I said this earlier in the week, but I do think that all of these CEOs cozying up to President Trump is a way to scare the bedoobies off all of the left-wing liberal woke employees at the companies,
Yes.
saying that, oh, you don't like this? You don't run the company.
Yes.
You get in line and you're going to shut your mouths,
Yeah.
because it's been the reverse in recent years.
Absolutely. So I think with Zuck, the key thing was Trump wins, but also the example of Elon Musk. You can be out there, you can tell your woke employees to get lost, you can fire them, and you can still be standing and thriving. I think that was a really important
But the
example.
difference is Musk didn't suck up. He played smart. He took
Yeah.
Twitter, now X. He cut the staff.
Yep.
It's doing better.
Yeah. He
So
was the
Zuck
pioneer
is
here.
sucking up.
Right.
Musk is
Right.
in the game and at the
Yeah,
table.
he was the pioneer here. They took much more bravery and pluck,
Elon
no
Musk
doubt.
took a great risk standing up and supporting President Trump in word and in deed and in money. He's the leader in all this. Great to see you,
doubt.
Rich Lowry.
Good to
Thank
see
you,
you,
sir.
Rich.
Thanks, guys.